Veterans Day is very much thinking about all the veterans who we've lost in our wars, who haven't come home. But I think it should also be a time to think about all the veterans in our lives today and the potential that so many veterans have to continue serving their country and doing great things for America back home. We just need to make sure they get welcomed home, they get the treatment, care they need, post-traumatic stress or whatever other ailments they have get taken care of and cured, so that today's veterans can do the same things that the greatest generation of veterans did for our country and make a stronger America for the future. The VA is very good at dealing with some sorts of problems. They have a good reputation for dealing with people who are missing limbs, but that's a problem they've had to deal with for decades.
Yeah.
And they're good at it. But they're terrible when it comes to mental health care. Traumatic brain injury, TBI, that's an acronym that didn't exist 20 years ago, because if you got a traumatic brain injury, you died. But now they're able to save these kids, and they come home, and the VA is not equipped to take care of them. So we've got to refocus some of the VA's energy and resources on mental health care. There's this huge backlog in getting claims approved. But the amazing thing about the claims is that the vast majority of claims are ultimately approved by the VA.
Really?
So what that means is that all these appeals processes and waiting period, and reviews and everything else, at the end of the day, you go through this tremendous bureaucracy. You might have several appeals, but more than likely your claim's going to get approved. So why don't we approve it up front, eliminate a lot of this bureaucracy, and then just target people who might be abusing the system. One of my jobs for General Petraeus was to forge the first tribal security agreement with a Shiite tribe south of Baghdad, because we had this tribal insurgency that was going very well west of Baghdad with the Sunnis. But it hadn't ever been done in the Shiite south. And various analysts said that it couldn't be done for various historical or cultural reasons, whatever. But we wanted to try, so we went to Ramadi. We spent some time there learning how these new partnerships were working, these tribes partnering with U.S. forces, the coalition forces. And then we took those lessons down to the city of Diwaniyah, south of Baghdad. And we found a sheikh who his tribe controlled a stretch of the highway between Kuwait and Baghdad, where a lot of U.S. convoys were getting blown up by roadside bombs. And to make a long story short, we were able to work with him to develop an agreement where we paid his young men to guard this road and eliminate the threat to U.S. convoys.
How'd you convince him?
And, well, I'll tell you, one of the first things is you had to know who to talk with at first. And I think this is an important lesson for going to Washington. I'm not going to call my first meeting with the most conservative Tea Partier in D.C. You got to find people you can work with, right? But there are a lot of moderate Republicans that some of them, I think, share more interests with Democrats than with the extremists in their own party. Washington's going to be very difficult. It's not going to be easy. The acrimony, the bitterness of the debate and the divide, it's going to be difficult to build bridges. But I think my experience building those bridges in some of the most difficult parts of the world will be helpful.